Hey y'all, I don't know if anyone's gonna care about this, but I do apologize for the 8 minutes of the video. They were painting my bathroom today, and I've been in my parents' room, and when I got back in here, I kind of forgot. But I think they're done with all the stuff that they need to do now. Like I say, I don't know if anyone really cared, no one really. Yeah, I don't have a time to do these things, but I still wanted to give somewhat of an explanation in case someone was waiting on my video and was curious. But I hear this a lot of the time, and I'm gonna be honest, I've been guilty of saying this myself. I've heard and I've said, well, how can they be Christian? They don't act Christian. They don't they don't do anything Christian-y from what I can see. And but you know what? God doesn't need actors. You because honestly, you could act as Christian. Yeah, you could act as Christian as you want, but just because you act Christian doesn't mean you are one. And it it's about more than acting. Turn with me to Matthew 7:20 through 22 through 23. Again, that's Matthew 7:20 through to automatically elevated over other parts of Scripture because Jesus is saying something we need to pay attention to, something we need to keep in mind. Many will say to me in that day, the day that they come face to face with me, the old, have you not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name? And yes, it is. But then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice the. As we see here, anyone can act the part. Anyone can act Christian. Anyone can read their Bible, know what it says, and not really feel anything, but do everything they're supposed to do. And I'm putting it in quotation marks because that's not nearly as important as the next part. It's about more than knowledge, it's about more than acting Christian, it's about more than that. It's about relationship. And yes, when Jesus comes in your heart, when he legitimately comes into your heart and that legitimate, he changes you. And you don't want to be the person who you were anymore. But whether or not you're a Christian or you act Christian or you do everything a Christian is supposed to do, is ultimately not for men to say. That's for God to say. God has the ultimate say in that. And ultimately, what people think doesn't matter. Well, it just doesn't matter what God thinks about you and what God thinks of your heart, because God ultimately knows the heart better than anyone could, is the only thing that matters. Because easy to do things. It's easy to act things out. But the difference is, and what we see here, is these people that Jesus is talking about, your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name, that's not enough. Jesus will still declare to them, I never knew you, depart from me, you who practice the idleness, because it was at face value. And remember this too. God has a high standard for you, a higher standard than we can ever hope to reach here on earth. But God also has an abundant amount of mercy for you. Now I want to say one quick thing too about that. There does come a point when you yourself can turn your back on God. And it says God will give you up to the desires of your flesh. But even if you reach that point and you backslide, I'd argue that you weren't even a Christian to begin with. Because, like I said, when God gets in your heart and that's legitimate, He changes you. And you don't want to be the person you were anymore. But God's innumerable grace and innumerable mercy can reach you wherever you are. Even if you think you're unlovable, because, hey, God specializes in loving the unlovable. He made you, He knit you together in your mother's womb, and His love for you is immense. It's innumerable. It's so much more than anyone with the self-righteous attitudes and maybe with the hypocritical attitudes. Because, I mean, no one's perfect. No one can, quote, act like a Christian every minute of the day. The only one that's perfect was Jesus. And He loved you more than any hypocritical, self-righteous person on this earth can ever love you. Guys, God bless you. God doesn't need actors. He needs soldiers. It's not an acting game. It's ultimately heart thing. Guys, I love you. God bless you. I'll be praying for you. Keep yourself safe. And I'll see you next week.